All right, good day, everyone, and we are live. Welcome to another edition of Hump Day with the man, the myth, the legend, Bix Weir. V will be joining us here shortly, and very excited for today's broadcast. As you know, we had shared out tweets, posts, and everything that we are going to be doing a live Q&A today with Bix and V. So if you have not done so yet, thank you for those that have submitted your questions. It's not too late. Yes, we will take questions from the chat room. And then also, if you could send an email to make it a little bit easier to track, to go over, send an email to qa@roguemoney.net. Just updated that. Had a little bit of difficulties with the contact email. But again, qa@roguemoney.net. Send your questions and we'll be answering those later on. But Bix, how are you, man?
I'm good. I think V's out there studying before our Q&A.
I think he is. I mean, I think he needs to bring he wants to bring his mad skills and
Bring that A game. Bring that A game.
the A game. That's absolutely true. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So a lot's going on. Never a dull moment. We were chatting a little bit before we went live in regards to the amount of chaos, the amount of information that is going on right now. So, where do you want to start?
We could start with all the data dumps that are scheduled for the next couple of weeks. The big one that I think the powers that be in the deep state are very afraid of is the JFK, the final 30,000 JFK documents from the FBI that Trump has until the 26th to keep them private for another 25 years. And Trump better not do that. I mean, all of them must be released. The CIA is pushing for another locking up of these documents. They say, here's the reason. They say it's because they don't want more people talking about conspiracy theories. That's bullcrap. If nothing was in there, then they wouldn't have to worry about it at all. But I do think these documents will be released. And then WikiLeaks has announced that they have another data dump on the 21st. I think that's why the Senate has started a probe into the Russian nuclear deal with the Clintons, is that there's a lot of damning evidence in that dump, so that at least the Senate can say, hey, yeah, we're doing something that's under investigation. But everybody's covered in their ass, but a great time for humanity as all this data is getting dumped into the public view. And a lot of it is very damning against our deep state, against our FBI, CIA, and it's been hidden from us for literally dozens of years, if not 100 years.
Yeah, you can't. You can't escape the truth. And if you think of the history, the events from the JFK assassination in regards to the CIA's involvement, what JFK was trying to accomplish by sharing information, things that he found out once he got in office, and to think that since that time period that our elections have pretty much been manipulated so much, and that's why they're fighting that information, fighting for the truth to come out. And I believe at that point, wasn't George W. Bush, wasn't he like involved in the CIA at the time? Wasn't he the director or something like that?
He wasn't a director at the time. He was an operative, I believe, at that time, but he was supposedly in Dallas. But that's not even, most of the people involved in the JFK assassination are dead now. So it's not necessarily that the deep state is afraid, that their old colleagues will get outed. They're afraid that they're going to have to, the American people will wake up to the fact that our government lies to us, and they're going to have to reopen up all these false flags that have occurred since then. And these are the people that are still in office, everything from 9/11 to Sandy Hook to Las Vegas, you name it. The involvement of our FBI, our CIA, the reasons for doing all this stuff, the insanity behind it, all of those will come into question if these JFK documents show that the FBI was covering up anything or the CIA was covering up anything. So I think it's really interesting that it's all happening right now, being that I think Trump is going to be draining a very large swamp in the next few weeks and months. So very interesting. The stock market's at all-time highs, manipulated highs. The metals are at lows. Well, at least silver is at almost all-time lows, as based on the amount of money spent and the fake inflation rate and all that stuff. So it's very critical time, and I think everything's going to blow sideways very soon.
I started to ask a question that probably should be in the Q&A, but I won't.
Yeah,
So
hold on, hold
yeah,
on.
you're right. Yeah, hold off. So yeah, and obviously, yeah, Bitcoin, skyrocketed up. We're looking at a fork coming up pretty soon, and I believe that is that Bitcoin Gold. What's the name of it
Well, no,
again? That's coming up.
there's a 2x, the Segwit 2x. Well, big goal, I don't think is anything. I'm not involved in that, but there's so much for Bitcoin to go through over the next, between now and the end of the year. I am not invested in Bitcoin right now. If I had Bitcoin prior to August 1st and in my own paper wallet or a Trezor's or any kind of hardware wallet, I would keep it because you're going to get Bitcoin, you're going to get Bitcoin Cash, you're going to get anything that splits off from Bitcoin. If you're buying Bitcoin now, you're going to get whatever segment happens afterwards. And we don't even know what Bitcoin is anymore, truthfully. I can give you an argument how Bitcoin will die, BTC will die, and Bitcoin Cash will become Bitcoin, especially if the banks collapse and there's an issue with banking and ATMs and all that. You're going to need a very fast Bitcoin. I mean, obviously, Litecoin is standing there ready and raring to go, but I think Bitcoin Cash will overtake Bitcoin and then be called Bitcoin as Bitcoin Cash dies on the vine. And there's some conspiracy people talking right now about the Segwit 2X being pushed by this company called Digital Currency Group, DCG.
Yeah, why don't you break that down for us?
Well, I'm no expert in it, but I am an expert in some of the criminals that are associated with DCG. And those are, let me look up, who are we? I know Larry Summers is in there, which is one of the criminal manipulators. He's on the board of directors to some extent. He's a board advisor. And then there's a current head or current sitting board member of the Federal Reserve Bank. Which guy is it? I think it's Glenn Hutchins. And when you have that kind of involvement of senior people within the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, the market rigging, I know that there are good guys within the U.S. who are pushing for a crypto system, and they're trying to make it a clean system. They're trying to make it a system that works for humanity. Whether or not these guys are in with the good guys or the bad guys is unknown, but clearly this company, who's the largest advocate of the Segwit 2X split, they might be doing it to cause Bitcoin to crash and Bitcoin Cash to rise to the surface. So I don't know where the Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin 2X, I don't know where any of that is going to shake out. So I'm a mile away from that, sticking with my Litecoin, my Ethereum, and my tokens of companies that I trust and believe that are going to be the new Amazons and the Facebooks and stuff. That's my take right now.
Right, right. What do you think will happen, Bix, as countries move? There's news broke this week regarding Russia potentially doing their own. It was weird. They said they're going to do a cryptocurrency, but it's not going to be mined. So
Right.
so who knows the exact directions going with that? But as countries, as nations look to build their own cryptocurrencies,
It will be
what do
required. I think every country, as the fiat money system unwinds, and all it takes is a couple of these large, too big to fail banks to destroy all banks and all fiat currency around the world. Countries will have to rebuild, and they will all be doing it using some form of blockchain. Now, a sovereign country needs control over their currency. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. Look at what happened in Spain. They can't have a true cryptocurrency with a decentralized control being used as their national currency because they have to be able to inflate in times of problems. That will always be the case. So yeah, I think Russia is moving. It was the first country, now one of the first countries, to announce that they're going to move to a crypto ruble.
Yar,
And
yar, yar,
there he blows.
yar. Hello, hello.
Oh, now I lost my train of thought about the crypto
crypto
ruble.
ruble?
We're talking about crypto and Barney Rubble, if I heard you correctly.
Oh,
Crypto and Barney Rubble.
right back in. But I do think every country will move to a crypto type of national currency, whether it is mined or not mined, but all the other cryptos will be out there and probably more valuable because they are not, subject to the whims of crypto printing, such as something that Russia would start or China would start or the U.S. would start.
Hey, Bix, let me ask you a question in regards to DCG. Is
We just talked about that. Where were you?
I know. I was listening as I was driving in, trying to, weave through traffic, and I, jumped over a bicycle messenger and the whole nine just to get over here, man. It was amazing.
All right, let me have it.
All right, so I'm fully fueled on Five Guys burgers and fries. So I'm going to ask you this: DCG Group, is Blythe Masters involved in it? Because we know Larry the Sith Lord Summers.
Summers?
Yeah, he's a Sith Lord. He's one of the Sith Lords. He's one of the Dark Ones. He's on the board of DCG, but also the fact that we know that Larry and Blythe were commissioned by J.P. Morgan at one point years ago to commission J.P. Morgan's own cryptocurrency, which died a stillborn and horrible death, thank God, and they never got that whole entire project off the ground. And if you look at DCG, man, if you look them up, you look at some of the biggest exchanges from Coinbase, Kraken, to Merkle.
Their investments. I mean, DCG.
Yeah, they're invested in everything, bro.
Right.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. They're one of the first adopters. They're pulling in all the bad guys from our old system. I haven't seen Blythe's name on anything linked to DCG, but I have no doubt. Actually, we could go down. I got their clients right here.
Right.
And Blythe's company, what's digital asset something. Right. They don't list Blythe's company on here, but that doesn't mean they're not, obviously these guys on the inside are connected. Now, DCG, I don't see them as, a lot of people saying, oh, they're trying to destroy the cryptos by pushing for the 2x, the SegWit 2x split.
Yeah.
I don't see them trying to destroy the cryptos at all. Obviously, it would destroy their entire portfolio.
Sure.
I do see them trying to destroy Bitcoin and potentially having Bitcoin Cash rise up as the new Bitcoin.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So that's a potential, yeah. But as far as taking out the entire crypto complex, no, that's not what's going to happen. If 2x fails and anything happens badly in that world, that part of the cryptos will die off, and obviously Bitcoin Cash would be the beneficiary of all the Bitcoin investors. And I always thought up from the very beginning that Bitcoin Cash was the true essence of what Satoshi wanted, and I always thought that would ultimately, when the banks fail, ultimately be the answer from Bitcoin. But we also have Litecoin and all kinds of fast cryptocurrencies that can be used as a means of exchange. So I'm not invested in Bitcoin right now. I'm not even invested in Bitcoin Cash. I've just completely stayed away from that drama, and there will be more drama between now and the end of the year.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with you.
But having said that, if I owned Bitcoin in a wallet prior to August 1st, I would hold it because it's a win, place, and show ticket. Whoever comes out to be the true Bitcoin after all these forks is going to be very wealthy, because I do think Bitcoin will stay as the premier.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's why I'm right now, just like you. I haven't bought any additional Bitcoin. I'm just sitting, chilling, and waiting. I'm just holding right now, dude. I'm in a holding pattern.
You're a hodler.
I'm a hogler, baby.
Good. Yeah, but I mean, that's as far as Bitcoin is all the drama. The non-drama and the exciting things are the companies that are being built on the Ethereum blockchain and other startups and these businesses.
Like my banana coin that I'm working on. And CJ and I,
if you ever release your banana coin, it should do very well.
I got the banana coin. CJ got the tamale coin. We're ready to go. CJ, you ready for that? El Cuco, are you there?
He was laughing on mute before.
Oh.
I wanted the jalapeno coin.
Bix, meet El Cuco. El Cuco, Bix.
Everybody's saying I should start a Bix coin.
You should. Why not? A Ruda coin.
No, but what do you do? I mean, if I had a purpose and a meaning for it, I'd do it. But just to start a coin is the very thing I fight every day with. Some of these coins are completely useless.
You should start a coin for bloggers and call it the road to root a coin.
Yeah, it would be a lot of work and a lot of hassle because I'd want to do it, the right way. And I'm no computer expert. All I would add to it is my name, and even I wouldn't recommend buying a Bix coin.
I come up with a coin, but I won't recommend it.
Exactly. Unless I have some brilliant idea that strikes me in the middle of the night, who knows?
Right. Exactly. Siege, what other questions we got?
That wasn't a question necessarily, but we can start taking some if you want.
Yeah, we haven't started the questions.
I'm
going to start the Q&A quite yet. We're just discussing topics. That's all right.
But the brief overview for everybody is that people have submitted questions, and V and I have no idea what they're about, so we'll try to answer them. Is the idea of today.
Got it. Okay.
I think V was off studying and not late because he had to eat a hamburger. I think he was off studying everything we might need to know for these questions.
Perhaps we should fire it up though, because some of these are really good questions that you guys can go back and forth on. Should we start?
Fire it up. Go ahead, Siege.
Let's do it. So our first question is this: good guys have won complete control. Then why would the CIA, unless it is still controlled by rogue cabal agents, why would they ask Trump to delay the release of the JFK files for 25 more years? What is David Wilcock saying when his new article is talking about something big happening soon? What is the difference between your intel and David Wilcox and Benjamin Fulford?
That's a lot of acid between all that. Go ahead, Bix.
Tell us something that they don't have to know. Go for it.
Yeah, I'll start with that one because I love to talk about the good guys and bad guys. The good guys are definitely winning, but they have not won. The deep state is so embedded at every level of our government, our society, in the colleges, in the pharmaceutical. I mean, the deep state is not just an office at the State Department. The deep state is inbred in our military. It is all over the place. So to say that the good guys have completely won, I don't think I've ever said that. I've said this is an epic battle and we are winning and we have control of some of the most important parts of it, but it will be years before the complete takedown of these bad guys, and they will fight the whole way, but they are absolutely losing power. I do believe the big thing coming up is going to be the release of all these documents on Kennedy's murder, on the Russian sale of uranium by the Clintons, and hopefully Uma Abedin's 650,000 documents that they got on Anthony Weiner's laptop. What do you think, V?
You're more optimistic than I am, and I love you. I love you.
I know you do.
Dude, honestly, man, I want to see something happen. If I'm a betting man, and I'm gonna make a wager with you. Let's make a bet. If Trump releases the CIA documents, when does that do? Next week?
He has to block them by the 26th if he's going to block them. Now he can partially block them also.
Okay. I'm going to go on a limb and say on the 26th, nothing happens. He doesn't block them. He doesn't do anything.
That would be great. And then they get released.
No, meaning...
You mean he can either block them for 25 more years, or if he does nothing, the National Archives has to release all those documents.
Oh, okay. Now, what I meant to say is that he's going to block them so it doesn't get released for another 25 years.
So you think Trump will block all the... I don't think so. I think it goes against everything he stood for. And I think this is his chance.
I think he's being fed wrong intel on many levels. I think there's a little too much of a Kushner / globalist / Zionist involvement there that I don't like. I don't know. I haven't seen anything major happen as of yet, man. I want to believe that next week he will allow these documents to come forth, and maybe the world will have a wake up call as to what the hell's really going on in this country. But if I'm a betting man, Mike Pappano, or Papa John's, whatever you want to call him, he's gonna convince Trump to prevent these documents from being brought out there. And I think that's
what are we betting?
Huh? Oh yeah, what are we betting? If I'm right, what do I do? I'll get you a gift card to your favorite restaurant.
Let's make it. Let's bet 1 Litecoin.
Okay, that's a fair bet. I'll give you 1 Litecoin.
Okay, sounds good. Now, just to define the bet,
I really like food.
I say that Trump.
I would prefer a pallet of bananas, but
I say Trump will not block anything, and you say Trump will block everything. Anything in between is a tie bet.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Next question.
Well, I'm going to follow up that question. I think I actually have the liberty for follow-up questions. How's that? So in the event, Bix, right. So Bix, in the event that Trump does block the release of the JFK files, what does that signal?
That he is completely captured, and there is no hope. I mean, he's already alienated the Democrats. He's just recently alienated the Republicans. He has no ties to anybody theoretically, and he makes the call whether or not he frees humanity or continues down this path of trying to protect humanity from itself and hide the information that might be damning to the current infrastructure.
B.
Or what's released is a bunch of documents with Sharpies, those big fat Sharpie markers.
Well, a lot of these documents, I was looking through some of the older ones that were released, and a lot of them are so faded you can't even read them.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's going to probably happen. Everything will be faded except for one name: Lee, Harvey, and Oswald. Everything else will be blacked out or faded.
Could be.
Oh man.
All right, next question. We ready?
Yes.
Bix says silver and gold cannot be used for money anymore because there isn't enough, just one of many. But I post it was backed by gold and silver. The best way to do it would be to let the price float. Example, let the market decide the value of currencies relative to gold, silver. The higher the price, the more money you can print. The silver certificates were redeemable for $1 in silver back in the 50s. A dollar bought you a lot more silver, but now 20th of an ounce. If silver were $600 an ounce, the dollar would buy you maybe 1/10 of a gram. It's all relative to price of the commodity, but the paper money is still backed and will always be backed by assets. This could be duplicated in a crypto version of the dollar, also redeemable for gold or silver. Thoughts?
You first, Bix.
Well, since I've been saying that lately, no, I don't think that gold and silver can be introduced as a means of exchange type of money. Number one, I think silver is way too valuable and there's not enough of it. And that's because over the last 80 years since we got into the industrialized world and the high-tech world, silver is massively necessary in all these new technologies that are being brought forth now, and it's just in too much demand somewhere else. And I don't think that having that demand is cohesive to having a stable currency in silver. So I don't see people walking around with huge silver dollars in their pocket. And this kind of the same thing goes for gold, except gold is not as necessary for our lives other than a store of value by the old people who used to understand the value of gold. I mean, literally, you walk down the street, and I love Mark Dice's videos of he walks down the street with a $10 silver bar and a stack of candy bars, and he asks people, would you rather have this candy bar or this 10-ounce piece of silver? Every single one of them says they want the candy bar. The understanding of gold and silver as money left humanity back 50 years ago. And there's only the diehard gold bugs and the central bankers who still think it's money. And those are the only people holding it also. So just the logistics of reintroducing gold and silver, telling people, oh, by the way, gold and silver are the only money there is. And by the way, you don't have any and nobody in your neighborhood has any. Oh, by the way, the central bankers have most of it, so they're still in charge. That's not going to happen. Now that we have an alternative, which is the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Litecoin, all those cryptocurrencies, and the new cryptocurrencies that will be invented by governments when the old system fails. I think that is our future. It is not gold and silver as money. That's my take.
I agree with you.
You gotta give us more. You can't say I agree with you. It's not fair. You gotta.
Right.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question, V.
Yes.
Gold has no real other use other than jewelry, right? It's a store of value. I think for the very wealthy and the elite who have it right now. Will it stay as a store of value in a crypto world?
I think so, man. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see crypto for the masses, and I think for the powerful economic countries, they're the ones who are going to dictate how trade is going to be done. I think there's going to be a gold trade settlement for these large economies in the world. I mean, they've been beta testing it for some time, and that's the direction they're going to move in. That's why China's announced a petro yuan as well as a crypto yuan, but in the end, with a gold trade settlement to underlie the whole entire thing. I think it's going to be 1-2 punch. I think for the masses, for like us, it's not gold and silver that's going to be the big play, but it's going to be the cryptocurrencies that we're going to be using. But that is not to say that gold and silver will be valueless. Those who are holding it now will do extremely well in the future. When this whole entire thing resets.
Okay, so you say, I mean, silver, I don't think will be used as money, but I think
I don't think silver's going to be used as money. It's not
way more valuable than used as money. But gold, I can see what you're saying. You're saying that on the larger level, the country level, the central bank level, the people who understand gold as money and have just been hiding those secrets that's the only thing between each other they're gonna trust.
Yeah, that's gonna be like it's gonna be one of those things that they have as an asset to hold as collateral. That's about it. It's gonna be one of those things. They also will have cryptos. I mean, that's why these countries like Russia is developing a crypto. Right now, it's unmined, but it will be commodity backed at some level. I think Russia will probably back their crypto with their petroleum and or commodity reserves.
Well, what do you mean by backing? I disagree with any kind of backing for anything, because I think once the system crashes, all trust will be gone. So backing must be redeemable. Meaning, how are you going to back it? Yeah, but back it by oil. How are you going to redeem?
No, you can't. It's going to be. They're going to come out with some sort of nominal backing, in the sense, not something that's going to be like a redeemable backing, but something that's backed by the material mineral wealth for their crypto. And their crypto, we don't exactly know how they're going to position it. Will their crypto be used as an international, more for international trade than for domestic? We don't know yet. But these are some of the things that are being postulated. So if they use it for international trade, they know that the stability of that currency is the underlying stability of whatever commodities they have. But the underlying problem would be if the commodities get a beating, then their currency won't do too well, unless, of course, they redo the entire commodities exchanges and put all that on the blockchain where there's real price discovery. Right. Then you have stability. You take away the speculation, and now you have a much more stable cryptocurrency to base your value on. So that's what I see.
But when you talk about, for example, a crypto ruble trading on the international markets, I mean, right now, 99.9% of all trades of the currencies are controlled by the banks with derivatives. So it's one of those things. The Exchange Stabilization Fund can put the Russian ruble anywhere it wants. Could it do that with the crypto world? Will there be the derivative complex in that new crypto world? I don't think there will be.
I don't think it'll be as well. Yeah,
no one would trust the derivative.
Correct. I think that world's going away, man. I think that world is just waiting for the nail to be finally. I think we're nail to be finally driven into the coffin. It's pretty much over with. That's not coming back.
But it currently is bigger than ever. They
it's
billions in derivatives. How are we going to get from here to there is kind of my big question. My thought is
you let it explode.
Well, yeah, but when? My thought is that they're trying to build the crypto world right next to the current world before they explode the derivative control.
Well, the fuse is lit, Bix.
I know.
The fuse has been lit. Now, the next major, section of the fuse where we know it's getting close to the explosion is when and where Saudi Arabia will be doing that Aramco IPO, which
With,
I
the, with,
predict
their
will be in
no, with their
Shanghai.
no oil in the ground
Oh
IPO.
yeah, that's not the point. The point is Aramco. It's sending a message to the petrodollar, because we have to remember what Aramco is. It's Arab American oil company, Aramco.
Oh yeah,
So this is a message to the petrodollar and the petrodollar system and all the derivatives thereof that are built in, that are built around it.
which are 100
So
times the
bingo.
underlying oil.
Right,
And
exactly. A million times the underlying.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's derivatives around every byproduct of oil, propane and
And you
butane.
want to know something else? Oil is one of the most financialized assets in the world.
Oh yeah, that was the whole concept of the petrodollar.
Bingo.
All right, moving
Okay,
on.
CJ. Thank you. Come again, CJ. Give us more, please.
All right, the next question. Salt is pairing up with a bank in the country of Mauritius.
Yeah, Mauritius.
Is this
Say
a
that
good
fast,
thing?
CJ, 3 times.
I'd say yes, it's a good thing. Absolutely, it's a good thing. Mauritius is trying to become a crypto country. I think
I'm moving there. Mauritius is trying to become a Gulch, man.
well, Salt is kind of like all the other companies that are built around a token. They haven't come to market with their product yet, but the investors that got it are selling just to try to make a quick buck. It's one of those things where in the old world, when you have startups, the angel investors would come in and finance these companies that were just an idea, and they really couldn't sell their position in that idea other than to other financiers in that spectrum. And then they go IPO, and that's when they'd make all their money. With the ICOs, these unsophisticated investors are buying into these ideas in the beginning to flip it the next day to make double their money. And when that doesn't happen, they get freaked out, or they try to move to another ICO. So I think you're going to see a lot of these companies with good ideas and a good lead time to market start to go exponentially higher as the tokens come closer and closer to being released as a product. And I think Salt is supposed to be releasing their first crypto-backed loan product by the end of the year. I see Salt going ballistic when that happens. I see Veritasium going ballistic when their product gets announced. They're working with the Jamaican Stock Exchange and I believe the German Stock Exchange to introduce a crypto-backed Veritasium product there. So yeah, real exciting stuff for these small startup companies. But the people selling tokens now really have no idea what they invested in, and they're like, "Well, I bought it for $5, and now it's at $4. I don't want to lose money, but I don't want to sell until it's at $6." And they're just missing the entire concept that the whole world is changing. My valuation on Salt is well over $50, but I'm willing to sit and wait for that. So that's kind of my comment on what's going on with Salt and Veritasium and a lot of the crypto tokens that will be coming to light very soon.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Now this country, it looks like it's relatively small.
Which one?
The country of Mauritius.
Well, the bank has $3 billion that they can.
In the event that they get wiped out, like Puerto Rico, completely offline, no communication, no nothing there.
So, what do you mean? What happens to it?
What happens? I mean, in terms of, because your loan, is that where they're going to be housed? I mean, did they operate under?
No. They're housed Salt is housed in Colorado, I believe.
Yeah, Mauritius is just a jurisdictional entity that's created. They're creating a business entity jurisdictionally in Mauritius because it's easier regulations. It's easier on taxes, the whole 9 yards.
But what they're doing, they're basically getting banks to sign up as partners. They're exploring that partnership, but they're going to have all kinds of banks bidding on these deals through the Salt, and that's the whole idea, is to get a kind of an auction process. Who comes in with the lowest price to link up to this crypto collateral with their software that automatically levels out the collateral balance if the cryptos go down or up. And it's really an interesting product, an interesting idea, and they're almost ready to go to market. And I have been dealing with Salt for a while. People who bought in to salt at like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10 a share. And then they hear that a year ago, people were getting shares for 25 cents and 75 cents. That's the way the venture capital works. The people with an idea look for funding. And, the people who bought it, $5 and $7.50, they didn't come to the party till like 2 years after this company was being developed and all this work went in. So yeah, the later you get in, the higher you're going to pay. And then it comes onto the token market and it'll trade for whatever it trades for, truthfully, until the product gets released and you can there's a demand for the token other than speculative. Right now it's just speculative. So you're going to need salt tokens if you want to get a salt loan. I have suggested that they require 10% of their collateral to be used in any loan they give out. So they can use 90% Bitcoin and 10% salt. That would put a huge demand in for salt tokens to be used. But they still have to, to be a member of the salt, and to get loans, you need salt tokens. That's what you pay with. So it's a really interesting concept. It's a bridge between the old system of your loans with your credit made most of the difference. This new system is the collateral makes all the difference. So yeah, it's a really interesting product, and I'm excited about salt, and I think the world will open their eyes, and the crypto people will open their eyes as we get closer and closer to the day that they offer the product to humanity.
Excellent. Next question. Is there any concern with Reggie Middleton holding 97% of Vera tokens? Reggie has said he will not burn any. What happens to price if when Reggie releases a large amount of Vera tokens onto the market?
I think Reggie, well, first of all, Reggie was going to sell a lot more, but no one was interested. That's the funny thing when people bitch and moan that some people got Veritasium tokens at like $2. Anybody could have bought it. The ICO was open for like a month and he wasn't selling anymore, so he shut it off and he sold 2 million tokens. Reggie has huge plans and is dealing with major concept changes. Like his competition is Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citibank. That's his competition, and he's going to blow them away if he introduces a peer-to-peer concept of transaction based on this large level, on the level of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. We're talking billions and trillions of dollars is the numbers that Reggie is working in. It's not a one-off thing. So I'm not concerned that Reggie's taking a little time. Yes, as he sets up these cooperation deals with the Jamaican Stock Exchange and the
what a guan man.
Yeah, he's going to release tokens into that environment. So Reggie still has, I think it's 100 million tokens that Veritasium has created, and I think 2 or 3 million have been put out into the exchange market. It's kind of like salt. There's two different things going on. One is there's a business happening and being created, and the other is the trading of the tokens on these exchanges, mostly by either manipulators, because none of the big exchanges will allow Veritasium to be traded because they know that Veritasium can take over their exchange, and it can be on a peer-to-peer basis. So Veritasium is kind of stuck on Ether Delta and one of the other smaller exchanges until the moment that, for example, Reggie has plans to trade Veritasium on the Jamaican Stock Exchange. That would be huge for Veritasium, for the exposure, and then every stock exchange in the world is going to raise their hand and say, oh my God, you can introduce trust and honesty into our system and with peer-to-peer transactions. Yes, come help us. The CFTC can use all that help. So yeah, great step for Veritasium in the future, in my opinion.
Very well said. Next question, CJ.
You're going to take this one, B. Well, these are the topics I deal with every day. And
I only deal with
everything.
I only deal with food topics. Go ahead, CJ.
Okay. Will the atomic swaps end the exchanges eventually?
Yes. Next question. That was easy. Give me something difficult. Yes, atomic swaps are going to kick the nuts of many of exchanges for a lot of people, but it doesn't mean that every single exchange is going to go away.
I think a lot of the exchanges should go away.
I believe all of them should go away, but
because they're just pools of coins They aren't the exchanges. They're kind of like derivatives.
Yep.
You give a certain amount of your crypto to these exchanges, and they hold probably 80%, and then just have a float, and then none of the exchange transactions are on the blockchain until you remove the token or the currency.
Yeah.
So I agree, V. I agree with you.
Yes, and the only exchanges that are going to be standing around are the exchanges that the banksters will try and create an ETF around. That's it. If they can get it up off the ground in the new derivative-free, honest financial system that's emerging. So
Yeah.
good luck
I
with
would
that,
think any derivative in the new world will have to be an honest derivative, and there are
even the banana derivatives I'm working on, Bix.
There are legitimate reasons to have derivatives. It's just the 100, 200, 300 times manipulative derivative volume is the problem.
Exactly. Next question, CJ.
All right, next question. Okay, you ready? Bix once said money will be phased out in 10 to 15 years. How to reconcile this with the quote-unquote generational wealth idea held by both precious metals and crypto investors?
Go ahead, Bix. That's all you.
Well, okay. This my 10 to 15 year theory. I said it's potential for 10 to 15 years that we won't need the kind of money that we have today. And here's why. I absolutely believe there's a lot of hidden technologies that we have not been exposed to. One of those hidden technologies is the type of replicators that you can see on Star Trek. And I think with our current technology increasing at an ever expanding pace, I don't think it's 10 or 15 years. I think it's more like 25 or 30 years. We will be able to take the current, what do they call them? 3D printers that are, that is actually exploding technology. We're going to be able to make anything with 3D printers. And then it's just the jump from, okay, can you create atoms out of thin air? We're already doing that to some respect with certain type of atoms, creating atoms from energy. In 10 to, let's say 15 to 20 years, you combine those two technologies, you can take energy and create anything you want, as long as you have the blueprint, the 3D printer, and the computers to deal with the placement of every atom. It is possible. And what is possible, we can someday create. At that point, when we have replicators that can make things to cover our basic needs, food, water, shelter, then I don't see a need for money. And there might be a need for a means of exchange, but money as we know it today would not be necessary if everybody could create water, food, shelter, clothes out of a replicator, anything physical that they wanted. So that is my concept, but I don't think I ever said 10 to 15 years. I might have in my book a couple years back. I would say it's 25 to 30 years, unless some kind of technology is released from the deep state that they already have this technology. Who knows?
Very well said. CJ, next question.
All right. I realize this subject is avoided since hard to prove and opens one to ridicule. But does Bix have anything to say on the exopolitical situation and how that affects the good guys versus bad guys situation?
Well, I have some night vision goggles that I pull out every few nights. I look up in the sky, I see things flying around that don't happen in the day. I don't think they're man-made. I think some of them are man-made. But yeah, the secret space program that Catherine Austin Fitts has talked about many times is a real thing. It is actually happening. I've seen it with my own eyes in the sky. Whether it's human or alien or whatever it is, I don't know. Exopolitics and all that, I believe, is absolutely true. I've been to Cusco in Peru. I've seen Machu Picchu. I know that humans can't build those type of structures today. How did they build them 15,000 years ago? We are not alone in this universe, and we are playing our part in our role in our brief time here, and then we will move on. So hopefully, with all this disclosure that's happening over the next couple months, hopefully they will get into some of the real interesting stuff on where we came from and what kind of technology we have.
my take on it, I think it'll be very interesting. I think there's a lot of things that are hidden. I, for one, am with Bix. I think the releasing of this technology will be vital for humanity.
Especially free energy.
Exactly. And I think it's going to take some time as well for a lot of this. I mean, it's very, very, very disruptive technology. So when you're rolling these technologies out, you're talking about the vanquishing of several industries that have been around for hundreds of years. So,
and they employ a third of the population or more.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of interesting and challenging things are ahead for sure. Next question.
All right. Here we go. So technology, AI will replace 80% of the jobs in the future.
Whatever we want. That's the beauty of it. The beauty of the future is that humanity will be free to pursue their goals and their dreams, and we won't have these bad guys holding our heads down and say, you're our slave. We're going to be released from that. And then it's, oh my God. Humanity at first won't know what to do because they've never been in that situation. But to think about it, to be able to do whatever your heart's desires, as long as you don't harm other people, it will free up humanity to live any way they want to live. I think that's just an amazing thing.
Yes. I agree. CJ, what is the next question?
It looks like that is it, gentlemen.
No, that's not possible.
Well, the hour's almost up. It went fast. What about, hey, CJ, what's your most vexing question? Something that you haven't been able to wrap your head around, and we haven't
I'll give
discussed.
you my vexing question. Go ahead, CJ. You first.
And CJ V is going to answer it too.
What? No! Fine. Go ahead, CJ. What's your vexing question?
Just in regards to the ICOs, and we've had this discussion before in regards to, I'm a new investor in the crypto space, in the ICOs. What is some guidance? What are some best practices follow as far as, what percentage of it would you allocate into it? We get this question a lot. A lot of people are looking for answers, looking for solutions. What is your advice?
My advice is to stay away. Go ahead.
Yes. Not giving any financial advice. What I do and what I recommend for myself and my friends and family is, first of all, you don't go crazy investing into anything, period. I know people who all of a sudden will invest like everything they have into something, and then they have no money and they're broke and they can't pay their bills. You don't want to do that. Cryptos right now are it's like the wild, wild west. So invest at your own risk. And with that being said, how to actually operate in terms of getting a wallet and moving funds around. Well, we're going to be developing a crypto school very soon, so stay tuned for that. Now, my vexing question for Bix.
Bring it.
How can you make a woman happy?
Talk to them. I'll tell you guys. Talk to them. Talk to them. Talk to your blue in the face, and then you'll get anything you want. All they want to do is talk. Talk. That's my wife. Talk to me. All they want to do is talk, and that's how to make a woman happy. That's my advice.
That's it. That's all I have to do.
And you don't even have to talk. You can even sit and listen to them talk, and they love that.
Just nod my head.
Talk and listen.
And don't fall asleep when they're talking. That would be bad.
Be engaged. Yes. Listen. That's the listen part. Talk and listen until they get tired of talking. And then you've arrived.
Got it. All right. That's the keys to the universe right there, CJ. Did you hear that?
I heard it. I wrote it down.
Good. Me too.
I will chime in briefly on the ICOs of today. I think everybody should remember there are thousands of ICOs coming out, and there's 1,000 more. Even the good ones may not be great to invest in at the beginning, because those looking to flip them for $1 have been driving the price down of these tokens. So
here's a great question by a listener. What is V and CJ's favorite car and truck? Or you in there too, Bix? Bix, you first.
I like the Gen Z electric scooter.
Oh, you and your electric scooter. CJ, your turn.
I'm still trying to soup up my Jeep, so
All right. Oh, mine's a long and lengthy list, but I'll keep it very simple. I love anything Porsche 911 Turbo, Porsche RS cars, specifically 911 GT2s, RSs, 911 GT3s, GT3 RSs. I love the older BMW M products from their M Sport Motorsports divisions, M3s, M5s, older M6s. So I guess I'm more of a German car fan, but I also do like some Japanese stuff. I mean R32, R33, R34, and even some of the earlier R35 Nissan Skyline GTRs are big fan of those. That's it. I'm not much of a Ferrari Italian guy. I think those Italian cars are a little too pretentious, even though they do seem very nice and they're fast and they're very nice to look at. I just don't like the image behind them. So I'm more German. In terms of Audis, they're nice, they're cool. Mercedes, yeah, they're all right. But mostly Porsche and BMW M. That's it. That's a great question. I think I'm done.
You were all over that one.
Dude, like white on rice, bro. White on rice. Oh, I can't forget. I do love muscle cars. I had a
Keep
2000.
going, keep going.
Yeah, I had a 2013 Camaro ZL1, which I tuned to 725 horsepower to the wheels. I had it was originally a 1.9 liter Roots type supercharger. I bored it out to 2.3 liters. I cammed it. I header back, larger injectors, header back exhaust. Changed the pulleys, the upper and lower pulleys on the supercharger. I had it making about like 16 pounds of boost. That was a fun car. That was a 10-second car, man. That was great. Oh,
Sounds
and
like,
the older
sounds like
Toyota
your love
Supras.
life. The
Oh
10
yeah,
10-second V.
dude, I'm gone in 60 seconds, literally. Oh, and I love Volkswagens. I love Volkswagens, man. Volkswagen GTIs, love them. That was my car in college. I had a Mark IV. Great car. I have a Mark 6 GLI Jetta currently that I still love to tinker with. My Mark IV was awesome. I had an APR tune on it, and I had a new speed intake and turbo up pipe. And right out of college, back in 2003, I started my first business, and I bought myself a rally car, Bix. It was an all-wheel drive rally car. It was a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8. It was the first time they were sold in the United States. That I tuned to over 400 horsepower at the wheel. I had a HKS GT35 turbo. I had Hotchkiss race springs and sway bars. Volk Racing TE37 wheels all around. Walbro 255 LPH fuel pump. Parent cat delete pipe. RMR full turbo back exhaust. And I've had larger 750cc injectors on it and a dyno flash tune. There, that was a hot car. That was fun.
And my favorite car was my 1969 Volkswagen Bug I had as my first car.
You still have it?
nice.
No, I wish I did. I put they have this little tiny thing called a storage space behind the back seat, very tiny. And
I hate Tesla.
I put a cooler back there with this board over the top so no one could see because I was underage, and with speakers on the top. I thought it was so cool.
Dude, that's
Isn't Volkswagen bringing the classic van back? Aren't they bringing back a retro?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
bringing the microbus back. Yeah, they're thinking about doing that. And Volkswagen's a huge company, man. Most people don't realize they not only own Audi, but they also own Porsche, Lamborghini, Bentley. They own Bentley. They own Bugatti. Man, they have a Skoda, Seat. They have a large portfolio. Absolutely. No, Nick, I hate Tesla. I hate Tesla with a passion.
I heard
Ugh.
another Tesla car blew up.
Yes, thank you, God. Hopefully nobody died.
Well, yeah, I don't think it blew up. It just caught fire and burned to the ground.
Yeah.
It happened.
So they're known to do that. They're known to do that. Yeah, Lambos are cool. I mean, I still have my Lamborghini Countach poster that I had since I was a kid. That's like That's like every boy's wet dream right there. A nice Lambo. I like the Huracans. They're pretty nice. They're pretty nice.
You should do a whole show about cars, V.
Dude, I'm a car guy, man. If I wasn't doing this, I'd have my own car blog. I'd be talking about cars all day.
Do them both. Do them both.
I'm going to, man. I'm gonna create Guerrilla Performance or something, or Rogue Automotive, and just talk about cars. That's about it. That's what I would do. Yeah. What else?
I think we're good. 11 o'clock.
That's it. All right, guys. Have a good one. Hasta la pasta. And we're out. CJ, take it away. I'm gonna go and get some dark roast.